Okay.
Okay. Good morning, everyone. It is Friday, July 24th. And I'm happy to be here this morning to share with all of you on something that I'm extremely passionate about, which is recruiting and sharing the opportunity. I really wanted to start out by saying, I know it's going to sound cliche, but recruiting really is the answer to any problem that you're having in your business. And if you're sitting there saying, what could she possibly mean by that? Everyone on this call or listening to this call is a director. So if you're struggling and, your team isn't where you need to be, or you're struggling, to make the 5,000 every month, adding new consultants is certainly the answer to all of those issues. Because if your team isn't working, you obviously want to get new team members. If your team is working but not selling enough, adding new team members, like we shared on the call the other night, I think the number is 80%, 80% of your team sales are added by new consultants. So it's a lot easier to share the business opportunity and get new team members to try and resurrect the dead. I'm not saying that you don't need everybody, even those that submit 150 all add up and they're all, an important part of your team. But if you're looking to find team members that are really going to work and take their business to the next level so that you in turn could go to the next level, and that's what this company is all about, you promoting to the next level and doubling and tripling your income. The only way you're going to do that is to go out and share the business opportunity. That very next recruit, chances are, is going to be the next director. If you don't have anyone on your team that you can work with, you're going to go out and find a new team member, and that new team member is going to be. Donna, what is that banging?
There is a background noise, like there's no banging, but it's an echo. For you, I've been trying to figure that out. Are you hearing a bang?
I'm hearing a banging, yes.
Then, hold on, there's somebody that's not muted. Let me do this again.
Okay, now can you hear me?
I can. Is that better?
Okay, you're much better. No. Okay, so honestly, guys, and I've seen it firsthand, I was stuck in the senior director chair forever, and the reason was because I wasn't sharing the business opportunity. I was losing consultants because, like we said, 1/3 are coming, 1/3 are going, and 1/3 are working. And I was, the natural progression is I was losing consultants and I wasn't replacing them. So I couldn't possibly promote to the next level because I didn't have anyone to work with. And I wasn't bringing in any new people. And as soon as I started sharing the business opportunity, I literally saw growth like I had never seen before. And not just growth, for my team, my income. Yes. You hear that?
You are going in and out, and I'm trying to think of why. And everyone is muted. So I don't know if maybe it's where your microphone is.
I'm at the same spot. There's a banging, but I'm at the same spot that I'm always at it. That's odd.
Okay, so if you face just that way, try not to turn your head. I hate to do this to you, but
I'm only looking straight ahead.
Yeah, I think it's the microphone, the way it's picking up this morning. So try that for me.
Like this? Is this better?
Better.
Okay, I'll freeze. Okay, don't move. So yes, when I started sharing the business opportunity, and not only was my team exploding, but I was doubling my income. So if you are looking to really, really start making serious money and growing, you have to share the business. So you're sitting there and you're saying, I know that, but I can't. So there's something else I'm going to tell you, and it's the hard truth. Recruiting is something you have to be intentional about. It's not something that happens because you want it to happen. If your calendar isn't where you need it to be, you get on the phone and you start asking for bookings. You know that if you're driving to a cooking show, how many times have you said to yourself, I've got to get to booking tonight. I'm going to offer an incentive. I can't come home unless I have 2 bookings tonight. It's the same with recruiting. You have to wake up every morning and say, whose life will I change tonight? You have to go to every show saying, whose life at this party will I change tonight? Because we all know there is somebody there that is waiting for us and that is desperate for us. But it has to be something we are focused on. You know, there was a time in my business recently where I had to slow down my recruiting because I was working on growing my team. And I couldn't bring in the numbers that I was used to bringing in because there are only so many hours in a day. But I am going to tell you from personal example, I know that when I'm not intentional, because I'm busy doing something else, I see the drop in my numbers. So when I tell you it's something that you have to focus on, I know what I'm talking about. You have to, just like you tell consultants, you guys need to make a list. Who do you know that needs some extra money? There are people in your life, I know because I've done it, that need you. They don't even know that they need you until you call them up and you say, listen, I am rocking this Pampered Chef thing and I am loving it and I think you would be great at this. I guarantee you by Sunday night, you can all add a team member. If you think about all the people you know that could benefit from this amazing opportunity. So they're not only at your show, they're all around. When you're out and about, guys, you always have to let people know what you do. You know, whatever business you patronize, make sure they know what you do. When I'm in the supermarket, I always share with the checkout girl, hey, do you love what you do? She'll look at me like I have three heads. No. And I'm like, have you ever heard of Pampered Chef? The lady who's slicing my luncheon meats at the deli counter. You know, you're so sweet. Love what you do? No. We all know that most people don't love what they do. So there are recruits, I hate to use that word, but there are recruits and potential team members everywhere you go. You're going to a party this weekend, you're going to a barbecue this weekend, make sure everyone knows what you do. Start a conversation with everyone. Hey, you know, I'm Sharon. I'm Mary's friend. You know, how do you know Mary? So do you work? What do you do? Half the time, I don't really care to ask them what they do. I just went to have a good time, but I want to start a Pampered Chef conversation. So wherever I am talking about my business, whether it's bringing a recipe. Plenty of times I want to pick up a bottle of wine. I've had 5 shows in a row and I don't want to cook a recipe Saturday night to the party that I'm going to, but I deliberately make something amazing so that when the host brings it out, everyone says, who brought that? Because that'll start a conversation. Oh, it's Pampered Chef, you know, have you ever heard of it? Usually I'll leave with a booking or a recruit lead. So there is business, I like to call it, everywhere, but you just have to go out and find it. You have to be intentional. Girls, when you go to parties, and I'm sure many of you have heard me say this, the relationship begins way before the party ever starts. As those guests are arriving, you need to be establishing that relationship. I extend my hand. Hi, my name is Sharon. Nice to meet you. My table is completely set up before I start. Because you've all heard the expression, they buy in spite of you, they book and sign up because of you. The sale is going to happen no matter what, but the relationship has to be built for them to A, book a show with you, and certainly join your team. They have to like you to sign up with you. So I'm always introducing myself when they arrive. I'm always sitting with them, getting to know them, who works, who loves to cook, who's been to a million parties, who loves our products. I usually know who's going to sign on before the party even starts. So are you building that relationship? Are you that person who's busy, texting or setting up your table while the guests are arriving? That used to be me. Before I started recruiting at my shows, I was that person who was behind the table, totally unapproachable, not interested in what was going on in the other room with the guests. I never took the time to get to know them. So that's a critical part in recruiting at your show. Go a half hour early, have everything set up, have your alone time with the host, and then be able to have that time with your guests when they're arriving. Does that make sense? And then again, the full service checkout. I had a girl last night at my show. I had my eye on her from the moment that she got there because she was saying that she gave up her second job at the supermarket because they closed and she was hoping that another store would come in there. so that she could get this second job. So I started talking to her before the show started, and then she was asking me some questions during the ticket game. When she sat down and I said to her, hey, did you find everything you were looking for? Yes. Did you have fun? She was not going to say to me, so tell me a little bit about this. I said to her, so Lori, what inspired you about the business opportunity? And she kind of smirked and she said, I'm scared. So she was not going to ask me if I didn't ask her. 100%. She didn't sit down and say, so tell me about the Pampered Chef. I think I'm ready to think about this. I asked her and she said she was scared. And I said, what are you scared about? And she said, I don't know. Years ago, I used to sell one of these things and I don't know. And I spent some time talking to her, probably about 5 or 7 minutes. And I have a call with her tomorrow morning. So, these people are not, most of them, I'll go out on a limb and say maybe 10% will approach you, but most of them are afraid. So they're not going to ask you. You have to ask them. I cannot stress that enough. And you heard me say it the other night on the call. I can't tell you how many people have said to me, I've been to a million shows and no one ever invited me to join their team. Informing and inviting is so different. So many people say to me, Sharon, I played the ticket game. I used the recruiting slide. Still, nobody. But are you asking everybody? And I know the answer is no. So you have to really just tweak your show a little bit, arrive a little earlier, establish that relationship, and make sure you're asking everybody. You cannot ever take for granted or prejudge because you never know what's going on in somebody's life, ever. I used to say, oh, she's older. She's not going to want to do this. I have plenty of retirees on my team. They're great. I like them better than the young ones. They answer the phone. They respond to you when you talk to them. So yes, there are team members everywhere. Does anyone have any questions? Because I want you to have an opportunity to ask me whatever you want. I think you have to unmute, right? Love you, CK. Anyone have any concerns? Anything that's holding you back? Too much quiet here.
I have a question.
Go, girl.
When you, I know you're closed, that you talk about, you give this a 30-day try. And I do that as well. And I find sometimes, I think I give it the impression that I attract more hobbyists. And I just wondered, are you doing anything that makes this appear more like a business where you can really do something with this instead of saying just giving it a try for 30 days and see if it fits?
From my experience, the people that approach me are the ones from the get-go that are serious about making this work. But that doesn't mean that your hobbyist from the beginning can turn into your next director. My Diane, who's jumped in on the call the other night, Diane was no. I believed in Diane way before Diane believed in herself, but Diane needed to hear me say the words, just try this. Diane was afraid that if she signed on, she was signing on for a lifelong commitment, and she was unsure. Let's be honest. When we started, we weren't sure either. Is this one of those scams? Is this going to work? Am I ever going to have any business after my friends do a party for me? So a lot of people feel more comfortable when you say to them, you know what, I'm not sure, and you come back with, listen, you're not getting married to the Pampered Chef. You're just trying it. The girl last night, when I said to her, listen, can you give me 30 days? Just give me 30 days. And if you don't love this, you can walk away with a pocket full of money from the few shows that you did and more products than you'll ever possibly imagine. But at the end of 30 days, you may say to me, I loved this. Diane, I am not kidding you. I pushed her because I knew she would be great, but she was afraid. Diane went on to be my next director. So if you think to yourself, well, I'm not attracting the right person, That's not true. What you're saying by offering them the 30 days is you're saying to them, it's okay. It's just a trial. Because we know the majority of them don't do this, not because they don't want to do it, it's because they're afraid. Maybe they've done something like this in the past and they failed. Maybe they think, they're signing a contract and they're stuck for a year, or they have to pay back the money that they earned. They don't know how simple the Pampered Chef makes it for us to try this. So I do not think that by saying that you attract the wrong type of person. I think what you're doing is allowing everyone the opportunity to give it a try, and they figure out if it's a good fit for them. But don't think that those trial people aren't the people that can't go on to be your next director on your team. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
I think it's imperative to tell them about the 30 days if they're the type of person that's kind of teetering and not sure, because that will bring someone to the other side. Because so many people have said to me, really? If I don't like this after a month, I don't have to do it again? There's no penalty, there's no fee? Because maybe some other companies have that. I want them to know how easy this is to try. Yeah. Anyone else have a question? Any other concerns?
This is Gail. I have a question.
Hi, Gail.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I have this concern a lot of times. In fact, I didn't have last night. You get the ones that you think, oh, this is great, I'm going to talk to her. And they leave, they don't buy anything, and they head out the door, and you don't get to see them at full service checkout. So what do you do about those people that you know are probably right there for you, but you can't get them to talk to you because they don't, they're scared and they run, basically. But then during the ticket game, you're noticing that they're excited,
Right. If I don't have their information, I have asked my host, your friend Karen that left early, there's something about her. I have to get in touch with her. I know she would be great at this. And I'll even have the host tell me a little bit about her. Does she work? What's going on in her life? Do you think this would be a good fit for her? And I will call the next day with that excitement. And I will say, hey, Karen, it's Sharon from the Pampered Chef. I can't stop thinking about you. I know we didn't get an opportunity to speak last night, but I have to tell you, I think you would be amazing at this. If she doesn't answer my call, I will text her those words. Usually they will respond to a text. And the reason they don't answer the phone is because they're afraid. It's the same thing about those people that sit down at the full service checkout with you. They're afraid. That's it, plain and simple. It's not about the money, because if it is, they will tell you. How many people say to you, I'd love to do this, but I just can't swing the kit right now? It's because they're afraid. Plain and simple. Afraid of failing, afraid of not being good at this, afraid that no one's going to help them with this. So usually they'll answer the text if they don't answer the phone. And then when I start a little conversation with her via text, I will then say, do you have 1 second to talk to me? And at that point, I've kind of broken the ice. And she will allow me to call her, and she'll answer the phone for a minute. So yeah, I definitely follow up afterwards if they run out. If there's something about them that I see, especially if there's someone during the ticket game, that were asking me questions. And I'll even say to them, Mary, our hostess, Mary thought you would be awesome at this. Mary and I both think you'd be great at this. And usually their response is, do you really think I could do this? And I'm like, you betcha I think you can. They just want to hear that you believe in them, that you'll be there to help them. That's all they need, is that encouragement. Does that make sense?
So it is okay. Yeah. See, I was always unsure of even emailing or texting people because I just thought that was so impersonal, but you can't get them to answer the phone. So that's what I wanted to know, if you followed up another way, because they won't answer the phone because they're scared. Exactly. They're afraid to answer the phone.
Right. So I like texting better than emailing. I find texting is a little more personal than emailing. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay. Well, I did get their information but she didn't give me their phone number. She wouldn't give me the phone numbers last night. She said, well, I can give you their emails. And so she gave me their emails of the two people that left. But I can see if I can follow back up and see if she'll give me their phone numbers to text them. So that's great. Thank you, Sharon. Thank you.
Anyone else?
I have a question, or I don't know. So recruiting is by far my weakest link in my business. And it's something that I've always struggled with. Is there something within your show that you would say is, important, like something really important to have really strong? I do the ticket game at every show. I ask everybody at my full service checkout, and my recruiting is very, very low. So I feel like I'm missing something there. There's some sort of disconnect, and I can't quite, link it together to where I'm creating the excitement or people want to do this.
Okay, so there are two things that are missing. And I played the ticket game for years, like you, and I had no response to it. And then I played the exact same ticket game with passion. So I need you to revisit why you're doing this. What does this do for your family? What has this done for you? Has it been able to provide extra income? Has it given you something that you're so excited to go do when you go out and do your shows? You can't even think straight. Has it allowed you to be a stay-at-home mom? You need to revisit your why. Why are you doing this? When I do the ticket game, there is so much passion in my voice that I have had so many people say to me, I've never met anyone that loves what they do more than you. It literally seeps from your veins. And it wasn't like that for a while. And like I said on the call the other night, this is like, how long have you been with us with the Pamper Check?
4.5 years.
Okay. Even after 4.5 years, you can sometimes start to lose that excitement. It's like a marriage, or even if you're not married, if you've been with your boyfriend a long time, it's not that you don't love them. It's that you start to take them for granted a little bit. And it wasn't until, well, the truth is, it wasn't until I got a part-time job at Macy's helping out a friend. And that's a true story. And a lot of you probably haven't heard that. But the bottom line of that story is I was helping out a friend for 6 weeks during the holiday. And I was making $10 an hour, but I wasn't doing it for the money. I was doing it to help my friends. And because I never worked in retail and I thought it would be fun. Who knew? Anyway, every single day that I showed up at that job at Macy's, I fell more in love with my Pampered Chef business. And I realized what a blessing it is. And I realized how lucky I and my family was to have it in my life. I stayed at that job for 6 weeks because I promised my friend that I would. But I swear to you, every single day I showed up there, I fell more and more in love with this company. So you need to revisit why you started, and you need to really think good and hard why you love this. And then when you play the ticket game, people are going to be able to really see how much you love this, as opposed to you just listing the reasons why they should do it. People will buy the bar pan because you tell them how great it is. They're not going to join your team unless they really believe that this can help them. So you have to give them that belief. And if you're, kind of teetering right now and you're not sure yourself, if you love this business, you need to fall back in love with it. But here's the good thing. I didn't start recruiting until 15 years into my business. And my friend Mary said to me, Sharon, remember, it's never too late to be great. So each and every one of you on this call, it doesn't matter what's happened. We're all looking forward now. You can all be master recruiters if you just decide today that this is something you're going to be passionate about. It's really just a belief and a skill. I didn't change my show. The only thing I say in the beginning of my show is, and you know what, I'm going to post my show opening so you can hear it, and my show closing. I'll post it in the group. I just make sure that I talk about the business opportunity and the kit on the back cover before I start. Because when you do that, people are watching you a lot different. Those people that were laying in bed the night before wondering how they were ever going to get out of credit card debt, how they were ever going to pay their bills, how they were ever going to send their kid to baseball camp, and they showed up at that party only to support their friend. They probably can't even buy anything, or if they do, it's going to be, a $15 purchase. So by you talking about the business opportunity, they're going to watch you in a completely different way. So I found that when I started talking about the opportunity in the beginning and I started saying how much money I make, they lifted up their head from filling out their order form and they looked at me in a totally different light. So those are the people that are now going to pay attention to you, and they're going to be thinking to themselves during that whole demo, could I do this? Could this be me? Could this help me? Could this help my family? So that planted the first seed. And then when I did the the show closing with the ticket game, those are the ones that are asking me the questions. And then at the full service checkout, and I'm inviting everybody and I'm starting a conversation, those are the ones that are going to join your team. The ones that you inspired from the moment that you met them and you told them a little bit about what this business has done for you and your family and how much money they can make. Because people are wondering every single day, how can I add another job to my plate? I have a job. I have 3 kids. How am I ever going to make this extra money that I need? So when you're there telling them that they could do this once a week, twice a week, every Sunday, every Tuesday, they're like, oh my God, maybe this is it. Maybe this could help us. But they only know that if you share that with them. They only know what you tell them. Does that make sense? Fall in love with this business again. That's the best advice that I could give you. And if there are any of you on this call or listening to this call that for 1 minute have forgotten how lucky we are to be involved in this company, I'm going to remind you here today that this business is such a blessing. There is no job in the world where you could work and do what we do and make the money that we do in the environment that we do. We go out and we do cooking shows, and our job is a party. We don't answer to anyone. We make our own hours. We are home with our kids if we want to be. We take off days when we want. If our kids are sick, we don't have to go into work. So for 1 minute, if you've forgotten that, I will remind you of what a blessing this business is. My kids are old and grown now. My daughter's 23 and my son is 26. They thank me every day for being that stay-at-home mom. They thank me every day for being that mom that was always there when everybody else's had to go to work because they didn't have the pampered chef in their life. So this is a blessing with a capital B. And if you remember that and you talk about that at your shows, it's contagious and everybody is going to want to do what you do. I promise you that. Anybody else have any questions or concerns? No question is silly.
Hi, Sharon.
Hi.
So my question is, the Pampered Chef has given conference attendees this $100 incentive for recruiting and qualifying people, and we have days left. So do you look at that as a gift for us or a gift to give away, and what is the most effective way to utilize that in the next couple days?
I will tell you that I don't even ever know what the recruiting incentive is for us because I don't share because I'm worried about what it's going to do for me. It's honestly, I don't even talk about the sign-on bonus for the consultant, or I honestly don't even know what's in it for us. To me, they're signing on because it's an incredible opportunity and they're getting that kit. Oh my God. $600 worth of products for $159. To me, that's more than enough reason for somebody to join the business. So I honestly don't even talk about the recruiting incentive for someone that joins at my show. And for me, the $100 for me doesn't matter. But for someone that's new and starting out, it's a great incentive. So what I would do is I would call up all of those leads that you may have and say to them, I just came back from our national conference. I am so excited. There has never been a better time to start this business. We have an amazing sign-on bonus this month. And what is it? I'm not even sure. Is it the salad spinner? Okay, so you're going to tell them we have the most amazing sign-on bonus. And girls, if you have people that are kind of like on the fence and you just can't seal the deal, say to them, I want you on my team so bad, and I think you would be so amazing at this that I am going to give you, 20% off the kit. Whatever you want to do, $25 towards the kit. What if you believe in them and you think the only thing that's holding them back is just a little something? Sometimes when you dangle that carrot, it could mean the difference between yes or no. So I would call everybody up that's been a maybe. I would also call all of your hostesses up Did you can send out an e-customer connection email, the blank one, and say, I just came back from conference. I am so excited. There's never been a better time to join this company. We have the most amazing sign-on bonus. You are going to get blank, and I am offering a 20% discount on the kit. You may get a couple of people that bite at that. I would also do phone calls, but I would also send out an e-customer connection email. Because listen, you may get a teacher that just found out she was excessed and doesn't have a job now in a couple of weeks. You may have someone that just found out, they lost their job. Not even a teacher, just someone who showed up for work last week and they got a pink slip. So definitely reach out to as many people as you can personally, because I'm all about the personal connection, but I would also send an e-customer connection email to everybody. And listen, we all know our hosts are probably our next consultant. And again, you need to reach out to every single host in the past year. Do 5, 10 a day. I loved working with you. You would be amazing at this. Would you think about giving this a try? I know you would love this. I would give anything to have you on my team. Some people live their entire life never hearing anyone say that to them. So many people say to me, Sharon, do you really think so? Do you really think I could be good at this? Yeah, I really do. Think about it. Some people grow up in a house where no one ever said that to them. They go on to a job where no one has ever said that to them. Giving someone belief is huge, huge. I believe in you. I believe that you would be great at this. That's what Diane needed. Diane needed to hear me say that to her 10 times before she signed on. And look at her now. She's one of my strongest directors, and she's been a director for 3 months. She's about to promote to advanced director, and she swore to me she was never going to do this. But I believed in her, and I told her if she just gave me 30 days and if she didn't like it, she could walk away. Instead, after her first show, she told me, I've never had so much fun. You were so right. So give them that belief. Claire, does that answer your question?
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
You're welcome. Anyone else have a question or a concern? No question is silly. Well, I'm going to tell you that I believe in each and every one of you. You are here as leaders in this company, and every one of you, even if you've been in a recruiting slump, has the ability by Sunday to add one team member. Whether you have a show this weekend, whether you're going to a barbecue, whether you're going out after this call to run some errands around your neighborhood, whether you have someone in mind that you know would be good at this, you can all add a team member by Sunday. I know you can. You just have to decide that now is the most important time in your business, because it is. Question? I see this adorable girl front and center. I don't know if she has a question. No, we're good.
Charlene, do you have a question?
Hi, Charlene.
Hold on, let me unmute you.
Yeah, I just moved and I'm restarting my business basically in a new spot, and I'm really struggling as I've gotten several leads, and right now I just booked I have three different vendor events within the next 2 weeks. I'm just trying to get myself out in a new area. I wear my hat everywhere I go, and on my bag everywhere, and my cards all over Starbucks area. They'll probably be sick of me in a little while, but my biggest concern is that I meet tomorrow with my first recruit interview with someone who already has a home-based business as a baker, and she also goes to school full-time to be a chef. And she's hosting my here, and so I meet with her tomorrow. I'm just trying to figure out what kind of I've never met with someone like that before, who's very entrepreneurial, who's very very serious about being her own boss, of just how to approach that, and what kind of, if you have any tips on that.
I would love someone like that, because like you said, they have entrepreneurial skills. And I would say to her, This could be so amazing for you because I see you tying in your baking business, right? She has a baking business, you said? I can see you tying in your baking business along with your Pampered Chef business. Think about how many more people you're going to meet at your shows that are going to also give you business for your baking business. Listen, she has a business sense. She'd be crazy not to do this because that's exactly what's going to happen. My director, Jill, had someone who had a cupcake business and she signed on Jen, and Jen's, both of her businesses blew up from all the businesses, all the people that she was meeting. So both businesses took off. So I would play on that for sure. Your cupcake business is going to fly because of all the people you're going to meet. And let me ask you, have you done, because I know it's tough to restart, have you had an open house and invited everybody over, all your new neighbors, those kind of things? Have you done an open house? Oh, I lost you.
I've been in my house 3 days, and
Oh my God.
and so I don't have any furniture yet. I was sort of waiting until I get that in the house. But any ideas on I have that planned as soon as I get things in my house to do that. Right now, I'm just sort of looking for opportunities to invite people because I don't know anybody yet. As soon as I get things in the house, yes.
Do you have kids?
I have 2 kids, yes.
Are they in school?
They're school age, yes. And
Bingo.
actually,
Bingo, home run.
what?
That's a home run. You're going to get the class list and you're going to reach out to every single mom on the class list and you're going to invite them to an open house. I would do one for each kid's parents, for the moms. I would do one for the neighbors. And I don't know how long it's going to take you to get furniture. It might take a while. I don't know your situation. I would invite them to your empty house with folding chairs. If you have a kitchen, you have to be intentional about starting your business. You can't wait. Like I just said, the time is now. So don't wait until you get furniture, because sometimes furniture can take 6, 8, 10 weeks to get. We want to get you started now. So I would get some folding chairs at Home Depot if you don't have them. You have a kitchen, you have your products. I would be so excited, and I would say to them, I would make a joke out of it. I couldn't even wait to get furniture. I am so excited to share with you guys some of our new recipes and some of our new products that are going to be out. I just wanted to have you over, and everyone's going to so respect you for that and give you so much credit for that. But I would do 3 different open houses. I would go along and put, flyers in each one of my new neighbors, and people are nosy. When you have a new neighbor, they come just to see your house. So that's a great way to get people. When someone says to me, I want to have a party, I just moved here, I know it's going to be a good party. So yeah, I would do one for your neighbors. I would do one for each one of your kids. Take the class list. And if you don't have it, I would go up to school and say, I just moved. I'm looking to make friends. I'd like to have the moms over. And the school will give you a class list. So that's a great way to jumpstart your business. And definitely let me know how you do with that cupcake lady, because I would definitely say that to her. When she hears that this is going to help her existing business, she's going to love it. Is that helpful?
It is. It's I like the empty house idea, because that was one of my things that was sort of holding me back, was like, well, how do I invite people in whenever it's just, us in the
No,
house?
it's fine. You go get chairs. You tell them how excited you are. You couldn't wait to show them the new products and make some new recipes for them. That's what you're going to do.
So do you advise doing flyers then in the neighborhood? That have you done?
Yep. I would do flyers in all of your neighbors. I'd walk around a few block radius and do an open house, from like 7 to 9 kind of thing. Get to meet everybody. Let them taste the recipe, see the product. I would make sure I do a booking spiel and a recruiting spiel. Get that in. It's not just make sure you get, all your information out there. And then as far as, the moms, if you get the class list, they usually have the address. I would mail each of them an invitation as well. There's one of your kids. Hi. Definitely.
They start football next week, and so I've already got the fundraiser letter all printed, and so I bring that to their camp next week. So.
Oh, and all the football moms too from their sports
Yeah.
team. Oh my God, kids, when they're not driving us crazy, are a real. Hello, can you hear me now? Okay, so what I said was when the kids aren't driving us crazy, they're a huge asset to our business. When your kids are involved in school, in sports, any extra, curricular activities, that to me are just potential hosts and team members, definitely. I want to hear that you brought a Pampered Chef recipe when you dropped them off for football camp. Anybody else?
I have a question.
Hi.
Hi. I know that oops.
There we are.
Okay. I know that everybody's busy, but I came back from conference excited. I came back to a car accident. I came back to a funeral. I'm planning vacation Bible school, and we leave for vacation for a week tomorrow with no cell service. So I have things scheduled in August. I've done my host coaching this week. I've had literally no time to make those phone calls or make other connections, send things out to possible recruits this week. Do you have any advice for somebody like me who's trying to cram it all in and who just does not have another minute in the day?
Tara, you're not going to like what I'm going to say to you, but I'm going to be bluntly honest. There is nobody more busy than Donna and I. When she said that we talk at 1 o'clock in the morning, not because we want to, because there is no other time for us to talk. My dad passed away in February. I'm an only child and my mom doesn't drive. I spent 10 hours a day at the hospital, making my phone calls in the bathroom in the hospital, then going straight to my show and then starting all over again. Where there is a will, there is a way. If this business is important to you, you will find the time to make the calls. I often like to turn it around. What would you say if your kids said to you what you just said to me? What advice would you give them?
I'd tell them to suck it up.
Exactly. We often don't want to say that to ourselves, but you have to. If it's important to you, you find the time. Do you need to make X amount of dollars? I know that I need to do 12 shows a month. That's the reality. If I don't, I can't pay my bills and I can't live in my house. So it doesn't matter what goes on in my life. No matter what, my business is my priority. If you had a full-time job, there is no way that you couldn't show up for a week and still have a job. Imagine if you said to your boss, listen, I have Bible study, we're going on vacation, there's a lot going on, I won't be here for a week. You wouldn't have a job. And the Pampered Chef is no different. You have to work this every single day. Not a lot, but you have to give some time every single day. Otherwise, you know what happens. You turn around and you have no shows on your calendar. And all your leads are non-existent anymore because they lost the excitement because you waited too long to follow up with them. So you have to really decide, again, that now is the most important time because it is. I wish you had cell phone service where you were going because I'd say when you were away, so you're leaving tomorrow?
Yes.
So from now until you get in the car, you have got to reach out to all of those leads. And you have got to make sure that you have a full calendar so when you come back, you're going to feel really good. How would it make you feel, Tara, to know when you get in that car tomorrow, you have 4 more shows added to your August calendar?
That would be awesome.
Exactly. And you have the power to make that happen. Nobody else does but you.
Thank you.
And you could do this. You could do this.
Thank you.
Anybody else have a question?
Sharon.
Hi.
Hi.
I have kind of a crazy question. I've been married for almost 45 years, and my husband is really, 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 really negative. It seems like no matter what I do, I am not good on the computer. I am not good with technology. I feel like I'm back in the dinosaur day. So, and our computer is downstairs, but it just seems like whenever I go to do business, he's mad. And if I do not do the 5,000 this month, I am no longer a director.
Okay, you know why your husband behaves like that. He's jealous of your business. Men are like babies. They're jealous, okay? So you need to sit down and have a little conversation with him. And you need to say to him, I really need you to support me with this. This is really important to me. Can we work together? Can you help me? Because if I don't put in 5,000 this month, I'm going to lose my directorship. And I can't do it without you. Maybe if you involve him and you make him feel a part of this, he'll support you. Is that a possibility?
Well, I've done lots of sales over the years, and he's always helped me carry to the car and carry back and that kind of stuff. But he's always been this way. But he's just getting worse in the last couple of years, and I just I feel like I'm fighting myself.
That's a tough one. He's your husband, and you're not going to get rid of him. He's around to stay. You've been married for 45 years. So I would really just say to him, this is really important, and I can't do it without you. And, I'm feeling a little bit defeated, and I'm feeling like you're not in my corner, and I need you in my corner. Is it possible he's not aware of what he's doing to you?
Oh, yes, he's very aware. My girlfriend says he does it on purpose.
Well, I think he's jealous. I think that's what it is. He's not getting the attention, and your businesses. Men are like babies. We know that. I would just reach out to him. What is your first name?
Marianne.
Marianne, I think you need to have a little sit down with him and tell him, how you're feeling and how sad you're feeling, and if he can really help you, because you need him, and you need him now more than you've ever needed him before, because you've worked really hard to promote to director, and you don't want to lose it.
Okay.
I hope that helps. And if that doesn't work, you'll go get a new husband. No, I'm only kidding.
I know. Well, thank you. Have a good day.
You too, honey. To elaborate on the husband story, I find that husbands aren't supportive if they're not supportive until they see the first paycheck. When you show them the money, it's a whole different ballgame. When you treat this as a business, everybody in your life will treat this as a business. If you treat it like, oh, I have a call, not a big deal. All right, I'll just listen to the recording. Or I have to go inside and make, some business calls. Can you take care of the kids? And if they don't, you're like, whatever. When you treat this like a business, everyone in your family will. And when you treat it like a business, you are going to be rewarded, certainly monetarily. And you're going to get that paycheck. And when the spouse in your life sees that paycheck and they're like, holy cow, you made $1,500? That's crazy. You're going to see they're going to offer to watch the kids a heck of a lot more, and they're going to be much more supportive. I remember when I started 19 years ago and I went to my husband, the kit was $100, and I came home and I said to him, I'm going to do this. And he goes, I'll never forget. Let's see how long this lasts. Because when I first got married, I sold Discovery toys, but it took me a short time to realize that people don't buy toys unless it's the holidays or a birthday. So I only did it for like 3 months. When I got my first paycheck, he was like, oh my God, this is crazy for selling spatulas. And I'm like, you bet. And now my husband is my biggest supporter. When's your next party? Where are we going on the next trip? So yes, when you show them the money, men like to see the money. They're going to be your biggest supporter. Anyone else have a question? Okay, I am going to post my show opening and my show closing. And I am telling you, if you just tweak your opening a tiny bit to talk about the business, and you have a strong show closing, with passion and excitement and enthusiasm, you are going to have more recruits and more team members than you know what to do with. But let's set a goal, all of you here on this call today, and let's post it. Let's all try to add one new team member by Sunday night. We can do this, guys, okay? We are a force to be reckoned with. We are an elite group of leaders. Don, are you still there?
I am. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, so I would like you to address one more thing as we have just a couple of minutes, and that is the full service checkout. The reason I'd like you to address this is with home office telling us that, people are spending a long time in line and that's the thing they dread the most. Help us, understand the importance of it and how to overcome that, because obviously you're not having a problem with that.
Okay, so here's the scenario. When you arrive at your show, you need to make sure that you have a private area to do your full service checkout, because I don't want anyone breathing down my neck. I don't want a long line. I don't want them hearing what I say to this person and then say to the next person, because I want it to be personal. So I scout out an area when I first get there. Of course, I would like it to be a formal dining room, in a perfect scenario, but it's not always that way. Most times it's not. I have done my full service checkout in a basement, in one of her kids' rooms, at her son's desk. I'll do it anywhere. I'll balance my calculator and my papers on my lap. Sometimes I don't even have a table. No matter what, I have to be by myself. So I'll know where I'm setting up before the full service checkout happens. So when I'm ready to check out, I will say to them, guys, if you'd like to place an order, we take every charge card known to man, check, cash, the husband method, a little of each. He'll never know. I'm fine with that too. But I only take one person at a time. If you have to run out because maybe you have to get up for work or you have a babysitter, I'll be happy to take you first. The rest of you stay here, enjoy another glass of wine, have a little more dessert, talk to your friends, and I'll come back for the second person. Now, usually someone will jump up and say, can I go first? And sometimes someone else will jump up to follow, and I will just nicely say, Don, can you just sit for 2 seconds? I just want to have a moment with Mary, and I'll be back for you. Oh, I'm sorry, Sharon, I didn't realize that. So you just need to remind them. And then I will take that person to the area that I scouted out and I cleared with my hostess. So I have to have my alone time. And when they sit down, again, it's the same thing. Hi, Donna, did you have a good time? You found everything you're looking for? Yeah, it was great. Thanks so much. So what inspired you about the business opportunity? You have to ask an open-ended question. You can't just say, so are you interested in the business opportunity? Because they're either going to say yes or no. And where do you go with the no? But when you ask an open-ended question like what inspired you, they're going to tell you, oh, I love that you talked about the flexibility. And what do you say to that? Do you work? Yeah, I do have a job. Can you see yourself doing this around the job that you have? Because it is very flexible. It starts a conversation, and that's what you want, because then you're going to be able to hear what they're thinking, what's going on in their mind. So what inspired you about the business opportunity? Well, I love that you said you earned a trip every year. Do you vacation a lot? I don't. We can't afford it. Do you work? What do you do? It just starts the conversation going, and that's what we want. Because if you ask them a yes, no answer, we don't know what they're thinking. We just know they said no. And a lot of people can't get past a no. So if you ask an open-ended question like what interests you, what inspired you, you can come back with an answer. A lot of times they'll say everything sounded great, but I could never do this. Well, now we know what they're thinking. They're thinking they think they can't do this. So now we could say things to make them feel more comfortable. Well, what if I told you I thought that I could never do this? My own mother tried to talk me out of this. I wore a turtleneck for 6 weeks because I cover in blotches when I get nervous. That's how nervous I was. Oh yeah, I would never know that by watching you here tonight. That's because I've been doing it a long time. But in the beginning, I wrote it out on index cards. I will help you with that. Is that the only thing stopping you? Your fear? Well, yeah, probably. What if I told you I could help you with that? I am going to be with you every step of the way. You're in business for yourself, but certainly not by yourself. I will hold your hand through the entire process. Sometimes that's all people need to hear. And you're never going to know that's what she's thinking if you didn't ask that question that facilitated an answer. Right? How many of you say, so would you like some information on the business? No? Okay. That's what I used to do. Before things changed for me, 3 years ago, 3.5 years ago, I used to ask, and I thought that was a full service checkout. So what interests you in the business? Nothing. Okay. I thought that was full service. I didn't know any different. You have to ask a question that's going to warrant an answer so you can know what they're thinking. Does that answer your question, Donna? That's my full service checkout.
Yes, ma'am.
And I don't really care how long people are waiting because my most important priority is that person sitting there at my full service checkout. That's going to be my next booking. That's going to be my next team member. So those are the people that I spend the most time with. And everyone will get equal amount of time. And we're not talking 10 minutes on each person. This all happens in a couple of minutes. And if it's someone that's serious about the business, it may be a few minutes longer. And if they're interested, and I see the slightest bit of interest or gleam in their eye, I will say to them, listen, if you're even thinking about this, are you comfortable with me coming and doing a show just like this for you and your family? It would be your grand opening. I would come, I would give you the commission, all the free products because you're the host that night, and all the bookings. Because when I stand up there and say Donna's going to be selling Pampered Chef, all of your friends are going to be like, oh my God, Donna, I'll help you. I'll have a party. Are you comfortable with that? Now, girls, who wouldn't be comfortable with that? I'm offering to go in her house, give her the money, and give her the bookings. So 99% of people are like, yeah, I think I would be. Well, why don't we do this? Let's pick a day, and I open up my calendar for your grand opening. You're going to try this, because if you're remotely thinking about this, let's do a grand opening. And I put her on my calendar. I give her a host packet. Done. I say, let me see what you were buying here tonight. You were going to spend $130. For $159, you can get a business and $600 worth of products. What sounds like a better deal to you? She's like, well, I guess you're right. So let's do it. At the end of, and I go on the whole 30-day thing. That's it. If you don't like it, you walk away. And most people are very receptive to that. When you make it sound simple and easy, they're going to be like, you know what? You're right. So many people say to me, you're right. Any other questions on my full service checkout? Don't complicate it. It's a simple business. Book shows, add team members. Very simple business.
Thank you so much, Sharon. That was priceless.
We're good?
Yes, priceless.
Let's go out, have an amazing day, an even better weekend, and rock this. I'll talk to you soon, guys, and I'll post everything on the team page. Have a great day.